One is not born, but rather becomes a woman. One is not born a genius, one becomes a genius, and the feminine situation has up to the present rendered this becoming practically impossible. If the feminine issue is so absurd, it's because the male's arrogance made it a discussion. Her wings are cut and then she is blamed for not knowing how to fly. Women who do not fear men make men afraid, a young man once told me. Women are not the victims of some mysterious fate. Our ovaries do not condemn us to a lifetime of submission. A woman is what a man says she is, and everything that he cannot be. Women are destined to a life of immorality because for a woman, to be moral is to embody something impossible, the strong woman, the admirable mother, the honest woman. The whole of feminine history has been man-made. Just as in America there is no Negro problem, but rather a white problem, just as anti-Semitism is not a Jewish problem, it is our problem, so the woman problem has always been a man problem. Representation of the world, like the world itself, is the work of men. They describe it from their own point of view, which they confuse with absolute truth. That the child is the supreme goal of a woman is a statement having precisely the value of an advertising slogan. What would Prince Charming have for occupation if he had not to awaken the sleeping beauty? In exchange for her liberty, she has received the false treasures of her femininity. Women's mutual understanding comes from the fact that they identify themselves with each other, but for the same reason each is against the others. Man is defined as a human being and woman as a female. Whenever she behaves as a human being, she is said to imitate the male. To emancipate woman is to refuse to confine her to the relations she bears to man, not to deny them to her. Few tasks are more like the torture of Sisyphus than housework, with its endless repetition. The clean becomes soiled, the soiled is made clean, over and over, day after day. If I want to define myself, I first have to say, I am a woman. All other assertions will arise from this basic truth. A man never begins by positing himself as an individual of a certain sex. That he is a man is obvious. The whole of feminine history has been man-made. To be feminine is to show oneself as weak, futile, passive, and docile. The girl is supposed not only to primp and dress herself up but also to repress her spontaneity and substitute for it the grace and charm she has been taught by her elder sisters. Any self-assertion will take away from her femininity and her seductiveness. All oppression creates a state of war, and this is no exception. No one is more arrogant toward women, more aggressive or scornful, than the man who is anxious about his virility. One of the benefits that oppression secures for the oppressor is that the humblest among them feels superior. Woman is shut up in a kitchen or in a boudoir. and astonishment is expressed that her horizon is limited. It is perfectly natural for the future woman to feel indignant at the limitations posed upon her by her sex. The real question is not why she should reject them. The problem is rather to understand why she accepts them. In itself, homosexuality is as limiting as heterosexuality. The ideal should be to be capable of loving a woman or a man, either a human being, without feeling fear, restraint, or obligation. I am too intelligent, too demanding, and too resourceful for anyone to be able to take charge of me entirely. The body is not a thing, it is a situation. It is our grasp on the world and our sketch of our project. Change your life today. Don't gamble on the future, act now, without delay. On the day when it will be possible for a woman to love not in her weakness but in strength, not to escape herself but to find herself, not to abase herself but to assert herself, on that day love will become for her, as for man, a source of life and not of mortal danger. A man attaches himself to woman, not to enjoy her, but to enjoy himself. Fathers never have exactly the daughters they want because they invent a notion of them that the daughters have to conform to. The point is not for women simply to take power out of men's hands, since that wouldn't change anything about the world. It's a question precisely of destroying that notion of power. I am awfully greedy. I want everything from life. I want to be a woman and to be a man, to have many friends and to have loneliness, to work much and write good books, to travel and enjoy myself, to be selfish and to be unselfish. You see, it is difficult to get all which I want. And then when I do not succeed, I get mad with anger.